Dude, how are you, Coy?
Bonjour, mon ami. I'm learning how to say a few things in French. Look out, world.
Coy Wire joining us from Paris and the Olympics. Coy, I was telling these guys earlier this morning that, man, I'm on my couch last night and I'm like 45 minutes into watching women's badminton gold medal round between Korea and China. I know nothing about badminton. Are you just covering the U.S. stuff, or are you fascinated by the other teams and other countries also?
Fascinated, no doubt. I just went out to skateboarding, and that was, first day of the park competition here for the women, watching them tear it up. The gold and silver medalists from the last games were from Japan, but we did have an American stepping up, Miss Whitestein. So she, it looks like she's going to qualify to advance to the finals. So keep your eye on that. But I didn't see badminton yet. I'm sure you have a little bit of a neck cramp from your head whipping back and forth. But I did go in person to see the men's final of table tennis.
Yeah.
And this was the first final since 2008 where there wasn't two Chinese men competing. There was actually this young buck from Sweden who went in. I walked into this venue. It was a sea of red. China flags everywhere. And they love their table tennis. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It was like, fourth quarter at a Falcons game, balls on the 1 yard line. They're about to score. And, it was incredible energy. Just to see these different disciplines that you might not ever even have thought about seeing in your life, it's totally worth seeing when you're at Olympics games.
You've been taking in so many different types of sports, and not to have to compare and choose a favorite, but is there one event you've watched that you've just been blown away by?
Ooh, I have a feeling I'm going to love breaking, which that's not happening yet. That's going to be the B-boys and B-girls here towards the end of the games. I'm just never, Simone Biles and all those gymnasts never cease to amaze me. When you see them in person, it's kind of like any sport, right? You see it on TV, it's like, oh, that's great. They're great athletes. So maybe I could do that. When you see them in person, it's like, holy crap. And I was fortunate. I got to talk to Suni Lee, Team USA star Suni Lee, who racked up 3 medals here in gymnasts just yesterday. And at about 2:30 Eastern time, I'm getting the GOAT.
Hey! Oh my God, Coy, are you so nervous? Are you so excited?
Well, I wasn't until you just mentioned that I should be. No, I've spoken to Simone before. She is just as dynamic as an individual as she is an athlete. But I would like to throw this out to you all. You are lifelong conversationalists. You are journalists. You know how to ask the questions. I might not get much time with her. What would you ask Simone Biles?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the first thing
Flipped it on us. You were asking the question.
Yeah, the first thing I would say is, do you feel like you're overrated because you lost a couple of medals and you fell off of the beam?
You would not.
Start your interview with that.
Oh, yeah, that'll be that will not give me any more questions. I'll be like, that's a wrap. Okay.
I would genuinely want to know what her mindset was as far as coming into what felt like such a redemption of a moment. Like, was she as worried about that as the rest of the world seemed to have been?
I like that a lot. Yeah, I might tie that into the one angle I was thinking, because seeing her compete in these games, Mo, it was like compared to seeing her at the past Olympics, she just seemed like she was on another level of excitement
100%.
and gratitude for this moment. And I think we know why that is, but, she ran out early during the team intros, and her teammates had to call her back, like, Simone, get back here. We have to stay in line while they introduce us. And so I wanted to just ask her, why did this one mean so much, And so I think that can tie in with your angle with her mindset after all that she went through in the past with the mental health.
Yeah, I think she could really help a lot of people out. Because she went through these mental health issues 4 years ago with everything so much on the line. What could she teach those that are having those issues from her performance this year? I'd be fascinated to hear that answer.
Obviously,
I love that.
It's about the athlete, but the athletes have so much support. Obviously they were showing her parents a lot and her husband. I'm curious to know, how much interaction they have with family and their spouses while they are there. Do they keep it to a minimum, or is that your comfort zone? Are you still sleeping next to your husband every single night because he's, helping you get through those mental hurdles of the game?
I love that. I'm taking notes. What's your mindset coming in? You teach those who are having issues. How much interaction do you have with your family? I mean, I need to call in for you on more often.
If you want to switch places with us, we'd be glad to do it.
Not a problem.
Yeah, we'll go in there. Tell us about the sportsmanship that you have seen there. I love when these athletes support each other, and sometimes these stories don't make it to TV. So what is the sportsmanship that you see?
Yeah, so Mondo Duplantis, if you don't know the name, he's Sweden's otherworldly pole vaulter, and he just broke another of his own world records here. And he, after breaking that final world record last night, he's in the middle of a TV interview, and Team USA's Noah Lyles runs over, sprints over, tackles them. They start punching each other. They're like hype for each other, you know? And then I don't know if you've seen, maybe you've seen on social media, the iconic moment after that floor gymnastics final when Rebecca Andrade of Brazil won her first gold here of these games. And Simone Biles and fellow teammate Jordan Childs, they bowed down to her. And, you know, that is incredible in that, yes, it's the sportsmanship and showing that respect, but especially in that sport when, you know, years and years ago, that respect and sportsmanship didn't exist. I mean, it was pretty cutthroat. You know, there were a lot of steely-eyed gazes. You didn't want the other person to do well. It was all about me, me, me. And I think just that photo, if you can search it, if you just search Simone Biles, Jordan Childs, I'm sure it will be one of the first to pop up. It was just an iconic Olympics moment to show how far the world has come, the sporting world has come, specifically with mental health and respect and sportsmanship for even your competitors, even those that you're supposed to want to tear down. They're lifting each other up.
On the note of stories that aren't making it to TV, I feel like we've heard a lot of the same names over the past couple of weeks. You know, Simone Biles and Jordan Childs and Noah Lyles, all the things that rhyme. But also, what are some of the athletes that maybe we haven't heard about that we really should be paying attention to? Like, is there anybody that's kind of underrated right now in the Olympic field that we should be paying attention to?
Yeah, so I would say, you know, we've all heard of Noah Lyles, Sha'Carri Richardson in track and field. Gabby Thomas is getting ready to perform, and she is just an incredible human being. She has a Harvard degree in neurobiology.
Wow.
She's got a master's in public health from University of Texas. She volunteers at the health clinic there. She's, you know, by the way, she's going for her third and fourth Olympic medals in these games, and it's one of those athletes that I believe it's tonight. Check the 400, but yeah, she'll be certainly one to watch and root for because she represents so much more than just an athlete.
So there's your story. You got to do some kind of deep investigation because nobody's that perfect. She's really, really pretty,
Beautiful,
super smart, super athletic. There's something she's doing on the side here, Coy, that you could break for CNN. She's probably selling drugs or something.
I mean, that's a good angle, but I will say she's pretty perfect. I think it might even be, I know you love your bulldogs. She even loves fur baby. She has an animal she's always posted with, and I think it's either like a bulldog or a pug, Bert. So I don't know. She might be perfect.
She's like perfect. She really is perfect.
Coy, how much studying are you doing that you know what type of dog some of these athletes have?
Oh, it's nonstop, Vincent. It is nonstop. When I'm eating, when I'm sleeping, until I fall asleep. First thing when I wake up, as soon as I say my prayers, then it's like, okay, open my phone. What did I miss overnight? I mean, it's just nonstop taking in information, whittling it down. I have a hit supposedly coming up at 3:50 on CNN, but that might go away because the VP candidate for Kamala Harris may or may not have just or is about to be announced. So I prep for moments like that may never happen, but I'm also prepping already. You know, I talked to my friends at the Bert Show, got a line of questioning for Simone Biles. I have to get ready for 2 other interviews I'm going to do today and some other live hits and an overnight wrap. So it's just nonstop. I mean, it's just whatever the way you guys have to study and prep. People hear you on radio. It's not easy to make it sound easy, right? You all know how much prep, the meetings, the pre-show meetings you have. Kristen's never late to those, right, Bert? You guys put in so much time and effort to this, and I do the same. I'm not taking any of this for granted. The moment I feel like I've arrived is the moment and I don't have to work as hard as the moment I need to step aside.
Yeah, it's super cool. You could really tell, I mean, every day you can see how much the Olympics mean to these athletes, but I'm not sure if you get a better example than when professionals who seemingly have won everything in their own professional career win a gold medal, like Djokovic, or was it Scotty Scheffler the other day that won a gold medal? I mean, this is a famed golfer, and there he is crying at the Olympics, right?
Yeah, I mean, the guy has multiple wins on the PGA Tour. He won the Masters, and then, yeah, when you see him there, and especially you mentioned Djokovic, that was the one thing that seemed to have eluded him. You know, the greatest tennis player of all time. 5 Olympics, and he had not yet won 4 previous Olympics. He had not yet won an Olympic gold. It's just this moment, no matter how good you are, anything can happen. And so for Djokovic to be bawling, running up into the stairs, bawling with his family, I mean, yeah, you just see how much it really means to these athletes.
Hey, Coy, something we were talking about earlier on the show, we feel, as from a United States of America standpoint, that there's something different about this year's Olympics as far as camaraderie, patriotism, just overall investment. Are you feeling that there in Paris with Team USA?
You mean as far as like nationalism, like for Team USA pride specific?
Yes, yeah. I just feel like this year everybody's gotten super invested, more so than in years past.
Yeah, I haven't seen the ratings or anything like that, and clearly you're in France, so you don't feel it here in the States, but Kristen's right. It does feel like there's more of an attention this year, and more of a spirit, and I don't know if we're allowed to use the word nationalism, patriotism, I guess, for the U.S. team this year than it has been in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly feel it here much more so than Tokyo and in Beijing before that. And yes, Bert, to your point, ratings are way up from what they were over the last summer games. Is that because of COVID? Is that, who knows what that is? And this is the first time fans are allowed to be here. But it could also just be this beautiful city. Every event you tune into, it's like, oh, by the way, there's the Eiffel Tower in the background. There's Arc de Triomphe. I mean, these beautiful venues. It's really great to watch. But I would say even Team USA themselves have gone all out this time to represent. Palais Brongniart is where their team house is. It's this big, enormous, beautiful building. It was actually the original French Stock Exchange, and they took it over, and they plastered that thing with red, white, and blue. Huge Team USA. You can see it from about half a mile away. And I don't know. I think there really is really more focus on that from the Team USA side this year. And maybe just with everything going on in the world, and we're sick and tired of hearing how divided our country is, this is the one thing that can bring us all together. I mean, there's no greater unifier, in my opinion, on this planet than sports. You get people from all different races, places, socioeconomic backgrounds. They come together, they're hugging, they're cheering, they're smiling. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the power of sport, and I think the Olympics can do that better on a global stage than any other sport.
Well, your coverage on CNN has been fantastic, man, and we really appreciate every second you spend with us, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
I appreciate you guys. Have an awesome day. Bonsoir, mon ami.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
That's Coy Wire. Check him out on CNN. His coverage really has been, like, hands down great. I mean, he gets to the stories and gets to the heart of these athletes in a way that others don't do it.
Make sure you follow him on social media because he's giving you some great behind-the-scenes coverage at Coy Wire.
The Bert Show.